Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. My name is Taya and this is Taya's Turning Pages, my book channel. So I do have a main channel where I vlog lifestyle content and career content as well, but honestly I haven't uploaded on there in about like a couple months, but I'm working on getting it back on track, so I will leave a link down below just in case you're interested. But today we're going to be talking about books because we love books here. So this is a huge summer book haul, as you can tell by the title of this video. I have quite a few new books that I added to my collection and I'm so excited about it. I'm not gonna lie, I went pretty ham in Target the other day and on Amazon. I used to have a Barnes & Noble near me, but unfortunately they tore it down, so now I don't have a bookstore. So I'm hoping I can find one soon, but for now I have to keep going to Target and on Amazon to get my fix for books, so yeah. So let's get into it since we do have a lot to get through in this haul. So the first book that I picked up from Target yesterday is called Blackout, and can we just take a look at this cover? I don't know what it is, but this pink and purple black and gold situation is giving. It really is. I just think that this is really cute. But this is by I'm pretty sure 6 authors actually. So I think her name is Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, who I love, and Ashley Woodfolk and Nicola Yoon. So like I said, this is by 6 different black authors and it's a collection of black stories about black teenagers falling in love over the summer. So the little excerpt here says, a first meeting, longtime friends, bitter exes, and maybe the beginning of something new. When the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths. Love blossoms, friendships transforms, and all possibilities take flight. 6 beloved, best-selling, and award-winning authors who I mentioned earlier bring the glowing warmth and electricity of black teen love to an interconnected novel of charming, hilarious, and heartbreaking stories that shine a bright light through the darkness. This just sounds so refreshing, I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw Angie Thomas's name, actually, I picked this book up. I'm a huge Angie Thomas fan. The Hate U Give is one of my favorite books of all time. I really related to Star, who is the main character in the book, to the point where I even named my car after Star. So yeah, as soon as I saw Angie's name, I had to pick this up. I'm not really a collections type of story gal. I don't really like when books jump from one place to another. I just don't really care for it, but I wanted to support, and again, this just seems like a really refreshing story and I can't wait to get into it. So yeah, and I thought the dedication page that they have here also is really beautiful. It says, to black kids everywhere, your stories, your joy, your love, and your lives matter. You are a light in the dark. I couldn't have said that any better myself, so definitely can't wait to read this, and I think it's gonna look so cute on my bookshelf that my boyfriend just built for me. It's sitting in the corner over there. The next book that I picked up is called While We Were Dating by Jasmine Guillory, another gorgeous cover. I love Jasmine Guillory and I love her books. I personally feel as though she does a great job when it comes to contemporary romance. That's just my personal opinion. The Wedding Date was one of my favorite books. It still is one of my favorite books, and I was so invested in every single character that came out of that series that I read all of the books. So as soon as I saw this in Target, I snapped it up with the quickness. This one is about 2 people who realize that it's no longer an act when they veer off script in this sizzling romantic comedy. So Ben Stevens has never bothered with serious relationship. He has plenty of casual dates to keep him busy. He's also an advertising executive and he lands a huge ad campaign featuring movie star who is also the female protagonist in this book. Her name is Anna Gardiner. And however, it's hard to keep it purely professional. Anna is not just gorgeous and sexy, she's also down to earth and considerate, and he can't help flirting a little. So Anna is on a mission to make herself a household name, and this ad campaign will be a great distraction while she waits to hear if she's booked her next movie. So in the midst of all of this, they of course start to, you know, mix business and pleasure, and now they have to navigate what they're gonna do because clearly their careers are at stake and are on the line since they are kind of, you know, in this little situationship. So I just think that this is gonna be a cute little summer read. It's not that long, and again, I really enjoy Jasmine Guillory's contemporary romance books, so I already know I'm gonna like this one just as much as I like the Wedding Date series. The next book that I picked up, this is from Amazon, and this is called A Love-Hate Thing, which is another contemporary romance book. One thing about me when it comes to the romance genre, obviously by all these books you can tell that I'm a huge contemporary romance stan. I love love, I'm a hopeless romantic. if I'm reading something or if I'm watching a movie, I want to see somebody fall in love. Like, I need to see that in order for me to feel fulfilled, okay? So that's why I have a lot of contemporary romance books in this collection and in this haul. But I actually saw another YouTuber talk about this. Her name is As Told by Kenya on here, the booktuber we never knew we needed. She picked this up because she's really into contemporary romance as well, and she's also into the enemies to lovers trope, and I love that trope as well. The whole we can't stand each other, but then we just get together and all that passion and stuff. I love it. I eat it up every time. So I picked this up off of Amazon, and this is about a guy named Tyson who basically is on like the rough side of the tracks, or the opposite side of the tracks. And he came from a not so great neighborhood, and he ended up moving in with this girl named Nandi, who has a very privileged lifestyle, and she lives in a nice house. And so he moves into her house with her family, and they can't stand each other. They really hate each other, obviously, but obviously as time goes on, they get to know each other, they open up more, and I'm assuming they fall in love. So cannot wait to read this. I think that this is going to be a great book. And again, just excited to put all of this on my bookshelf, but to just have more contemporary romance books surrounding Black people in my collection. I'm always looking for stories about Black people falling in love and just diverse stories in general. I just actually read, sorry if you hear the noise in the background, by the way, I'm sitting in front of my window, so there's always people riding their motorcycles up and down. That's Philly for you. But I actually just got finished reading this book yesterday called Accidentally Engaged by Farrah Heron, and this was so good. It's another contemporary romance book, but it's an adult one, and the main characters are in their 30s. So the female protagonist, her name is Rena, and the male protagonist is named Nadim, and they basically, as it says in the title, get accidentally fake engaged, and that's another one of my favorite tropes. and they enter a baking contest, and yeah, it's just like a really good book. I know that wasn't the best description, but honestly, I'm probably gonna film a video on this separately and go a bit more into detail, so definitely stay tuned for that. But this is about the two protagonists, Rena and Nadim, are both Indian, and they're both Muslim. And like I said, I just really love diverse stories. I like to read books from different cultures, and getting a glimpse into those cultures or something that I'm not totally familiar with. So I really love this book. Another book that I read that was also really diverse, and it was contemporary romance, is by Mia Sosa. It's called The Worst Best Man, and the main character was Brazilian American, and I loved that book. So yeah. But anyways, back to this. Can't wait to read it. I think that this is gonna be a really good one, and I feel like I'm probably not gonna be able to put this down. The next book that I picked up from Target is, surprise, surprise, another contemporary romance book, and kind of like mystery and suspense, I guess you could say. This is called Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. So this one is about a girl named Quinn who writes down a list for everything, and she keeps all of these lists in her journal. Well, one day her journal gets stolen, and the person who stole it decided to create an Instagram account, anonymous of course, and post one of her lists for the whole school to see. And he or she basically reaches out to her and says, if you don't face 7 of your greatest fears, I'm gonna post the entire journal on this Instagram account. So Quinn decides to team up with Carter here, and they go on this journey to find out who stole her journal and really why, but also he helps Quinn face her greatest fears. So along the way, they fall in love, I'm assuming, and it just seems like it's gonna be a great read. But in the excerpt, it says right here, together they journey through everything Quinn's been too afraid to face, and along the way, Quinn finds the courage to be honest, to live in the moment, and to fall in love. So I think that this is gonna be another great read. Love the cover of this as well. One thing about me, I will buy a book based off of the cover. Of course, the synopsis is important, but if it is a really pretty cover, I can't resist. I just can't, and I just think that this is really cute. So can't wait to read this. I also love the way that he's looking at her. His face is just very funny. But yeah, this is the next book. So I have 2 more like contemporary, like really contemporary romance books, so I'll get those out of the way and then go into like my mishmash of like genres, kind of like 2 genres in one, and then you know, more mystery. So the next rom-com book, or sorry, not rom-com, the next contemporary book that I picked up is from Amazon, and this is called Intercepted by Alexa Martin. And this is about a girl named Marley who thought she scored the man of her dreams, only to be scorched by a bad breakup. But there's a new player on the horizon, and he's in a league of his own. Marley Harper is a perfect girlfriend. She's definitely had enough practice by dating her NFL star boyfriend for the last 10 years. But when she discovers he has been tackling other women on the sly, girl, she vows to never date an athlete again. There's just one problem. Gavin Pope, the new hotshot quarterback and a fling from the past, has Marley in his sights. So definitely excited for this one. This is giving The Game. I don't know why, probably because of the football aspect of it, but this is definitely giving The Game, the TV show vibes. I think that this is gonna be a really great read. It's pretty short, I would say. It's like about 300 pages, so I feel like you can finish this in 1 or 2 sittings depending on how fast you read, and also of course if this is just a page turner for you. I saw this on Amazon and it intrigued me, so I think I'm really gonna like this one. Okay, so now we're about to get into like the books that have either 2 genres in one, or like they're just mishmash. So I will start with this one. This is called The Lies That Bind by Emily Giffin. So this I actually picked up, as you can tell, at Target, and when I put a lot of these books in my cart, I ended up going to a corner in the store and sifting through them to see, okay, which ones can I put back, which ones will I keep, and which one is a maybe. This was in my maybe pile for like the longest, and then finally I decided to throw it in the yes pile at the last minute. And I'm really glad I did, because like waking up today and reading the synopsis again, I was like, yeah, this is a good choice. So I'm gonna read the synopsis because it is a bit, it's a lot. Like there's kind of a lot going on. So it's 2 a.m. on a Saturday night in the spring of 2001. And Cecily sits alone in a dive bar in New York's East Village. Feeling lonesome and homesick for the Midwest, she wonders if she'll make it as a reporter in the big city, and whether she made a terrible mistake in breaking up with Matthew, her longtime boyfriend. As Cecily reaches for the phone to call him, she hears the guy next to her say, "Don't do it." Something tells her to listen to him, and over the next several hours, the two forge an unlikely connection. That should be it. They both decide the next morning, as Cecily reminds herself of the perils of a rebound relationship. Yet, she and Grant can't seem to say goodbye, and for the first time in her carefully constructed life, Cecily follows her heart instead of her head. But here's where the kicker comes in. Then Grant goes missing in the chaos of 9/11. Fearing the worst, Cecily spots his face on a poster and realizes she is not the only one searching for him. Her reporting instincts kick in to action as she vows to discover the truth. But the questions pile up quickly. How well did she know Grant? Did he ever really love her? And is it possible to love a man who wasn't who he seemed to be? This synopsis, like when I read this, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to really just throw it in at the last minute, like into the yes pile. And it's crazy because when I read that this took place in the spring of 2001, my mind did automatically go to like, is this gonna have 9/11 somehow tied into it? And it is. So I think that this is gonna be a really interesting book. I feel like this is gonna be a page turner. I really don't think I'm gonna be able to put this one down, just because it's like, who else is looking for her child? Like, who, he got another girl on the side? Like, what's going on? So I'm really excited to read this one, and look at that cover. I know it's simple, but I love pink, so it's cute. It's cute, come on. Like, you knew I was gonna pick it up. Okay, so now getting into, okay, we'll get into this one before I get into like the mystery slash, like I said, like miscellaneous book, I guess. So the next book that I picked up is called The Newcomer by Mary K. Andrews. I hated that Target put the sticker right over the cover art, but we moved. So I actually saw this when I was browsing on Target's app. I was looking for books and like book ideas and books to look out for before I went there, and I came across this one and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. So I went to Target, found it, read the synopsis, and I was like, oh yeah, this is coming home with me. So again, I'm gonna read it because it is a lot going on and I need y'all to follow along. After she discovers her sister Tanya dead on the floor of her fashionable New York City townhouse, Letty is certain she knows who did it. Tanya's ex-sleazy real estate entrepreneur, Evan Wingfield. Even in the grip of grief and panic, Letty heeds her late sister's warnings. If anything bad happens to me, it's Evan. Promise me you'll take Maya and run. Promise me. Letty grabs her sister's Mercedes and hits the road with her wailing 4-year-old niece, Maya. Letty is determined to outrun Evan and the law, but run to where? Tanya, a woman with a past, shrouded in secrets, left behind a go bag of cash and a big honking diamond ring, but only one clue. A faded magazine story about a sleepy mom and pop motel in a Florida beach town with the improbable name of Treasure Island. She sheds her old life and checks into an uncertain future at the Murmuring Surf Motel. And that's the good news, because the surf, as the regulars call it, is the winter home of a close-knit flock of retirees and snowbirds who regret this odd duck newcomer with suspicion and downright hostility. As Letty settles into the motel's former storage room, she tries to heal Maya's heartache and unravel the key to her sister's shady past, all while dodging the attention of the owner's dangerously attractive son, Joe, who just happens to be a local police detective. Can we talk about that synopsis? Like, that was so good. I'm gonna be hooked, just like with The Lies That Bind. I know I'm gonna be hooked in this book. Like, definitely a page turner, I fear. It's gonna definitely have a lot of, I feel like, twists and turns, and something tells me there's a plot twist brewing, but we'll see. And I love this type of trope too when it comes to romance, because it's like that forbidden love in a way, because obviously Joe is a police detective. She's on the run from the police, so she has to keep him at arm's length, even though she probably wants to get with him. So I know this is gonna be good. I know it. I just know. So the next book I picked up from Target is called Hurricane Summer, and this is by Asha Bromfield. Another stunning cover. Honestly, I didn't think that I was going to pick up a book like this, just because I don't really read these type of books. Nothing wrong with them, I just don't typically go for these, as y'all can tell by my stack of romance books. But I thought that this was really interesting, and I think that the premise of this story, I just feel like I will relate to it in certain ways and certain aspects. But basically, it's about this girl named Tilla who has a very complicated relationship with her father. I think it's after every 6 months, he ends up leaving the house that he shares with Tilla and her mother in, and goes back to his home in Jamaica. And so Tilla's mother decided that Tilla should go stay with her father for the summer in Jamaica to basically work on her relationship with him and to just spend time with him. But while she's navigating this complicated relationship with her father, she also has to deal with an impending hurricane that is going to hit Jamaica, hence Hurricane Summer. So I just feel like this is gonna be such a great read, very emotional read, honestly, which I'm here for. I like when books can invoke those type of emotions inside of you. I think that's the fun of reading and the joy of reading, is getting those type of feelings like deep in your gut. I don't know what that was, but deep in your gut, and like getting those chills and feeling those feelings, you know? So I think that this is gonna be a really good book. Honestly, Black girlhood and Black fatherhood intertwine. It is a complicated dynamic at times, I feel like, for a lot of, again, young Black women who have relationships or don't have relationships with their fathers. So I think that this is gonna be a really good book, and I'm happy for Asha and that she, you know, got to tell this story. So I'm really looking forward to this. So the next book that I picked up, oh, I lied, guys. I do have one more romance book. You can already see it. Sorry, this was at the very bottom, but surprise, surprise, it's 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This is a Reese Witherspoon's book club pick as well, but you guys have probably seen this everywhere in the book realm. You know, a lot of people have been reading this because it's another contemporary romance book about Black people, which is great. So this is about a single mother named Eva who lives in New York, and she's an erotica writer, and she's feeling pressed from all sides. And the male protagonist, who is also her love interest, Shane Hall, is a reclusive, enigmatic, award-winning novelist. And he ends up going to New York, where Eva is. So they actually knew each other years prior to him returning to New York. I'm assuming they fell in love, and then they ended up going their separate ways. And now that he's back, they're gonna end up being together again. My fault, y'all. My camera died, so I need to get through this quickly. So let's go back into what I was saying. So yes, they reconnect clearly years later, and I just think that this is going to be a really fun read, very emotional read, just like Hurricane Summer. One of the authors for a different book even said here on the back, this had me laughing out loud and crying with the characters as their hearts are broken and healed. So again, love me a good emotional book. Yes, get those emotions out of me when I'm reading. So can't wait to read this one too. The second to last book that I have is a mystery book, and this is called Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. Sorry, I could not see that with the sticker, but I noticed that all of these mystery books always have the same cover and the same font. If it don't got trees in this type of font, it ain't gonna be good. I don't want it. No, but I noticed that these books always hit with what it looks like this. So again, I'm gonna quickly read the synopsis just because there's a lot going on here. Hollow's Edge used to be a quiet place, a private and idyllic neighborhood where neighbors dropped in on neighbors, celebrated graduations, ooh, sorry, cannot talk, graduations and holidays together, and looked out for one another. But then came the murders of Brandon and Fiona Truitt. A year and a half later, the town is simmering, the residents are trapped, unable to sell their homes, confronted daily by the empty Truitt house, and suffocated by their trial testimonies that implicated one of their own, Ruby Fletcher. And now Ruby's back. Ruby waltzes right to Hollow's Edge and into the home she once shared with her friend Harper. Harper, who is 5 years older, has always treated Ruby like a younger sister, but now she's terrified. Within days, suspicion spreads like a virus across the town. It's increasingly clear that not everyone told the truth about the night of the Truitt murders. And when Harper begins receiving threatening notes, she realizes she has to uncover the truth before someone else becomes the killer's next victim. Classic mystery thriller book. It's definitely giving me Pretty Little Liars vibes to an extent, with the whole, you know, anonymous notes getting sent to her and she has to figure out what the hell is going on. So I think that this is gonna be a really good read. Another page turner where I'm gonna probably zoom through this. I actually have to start going back into the office soon, so this is probably gonna be like my commuting book, and I already know I'm gonna probably finish it within like, probably within 2 days out of the week, honestly, because I know it's gonna be good. And it's really not even that long, so we love that. Love that, and I'm really excited to get into Megan Miranda's work. I have seen, I think, a few of her other books, so really excited to get started on that, and I'm hoping that it's a great introduction into her work. And the last book that I got, again, before my camera dies, the last book that I got is none other than, can you guys guess quick? It's another mystery suspenseful book that everyone is talking about right now. Ace of Spades. Yes, y'all know I had to cop this one. The cover is stunning. Look at Chiamaka's hair. I mean, that face card never declines, but look at that hair texture. Are you kidding me? Even Devin's, like, don't mind the fingerprint, that looks nasty, but don't mind the fingerprint, but look at Devin's hair. Stop it. That looks so good. Like, this cover is just beautiful, and again, gonna look great on my bookshelf. How do you stop an unknown enemy? This is also another mystery and suspenseful book, like I said. All you need to know is, I'm here to divide and conquer like all great tyrants do. Aces. Ooh, that was a good quote. Like, hold on, that was a good quote. Like, let's really get into it. But basically, this is about two private academy students named Devin and Chiamaka, and they're selected to be a part of the elite school senior perfects. But after this announcement is made, someone who goes by Aces begins sending them anonymous text messages to reveal secrets about two of them that turn their worlds upside down and threaten every aspect of their carefully planned futures. So they have to now figure out, they're gonna have to team up and figure out who is Aces, why are they set out to destroy them, and how can they get to them in time, basically. I love it. I love it. I didn't even read it yet, but I already love it. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, and I've heard some people make comparisons, or at least like initial, like first impressions. They're like, yeah, it's giving me Gossip Girl vibes. And I'm like, I don't know about all that. Like, I love Gossip Girl, but Gossip Girl, I just don't know if I would make that comparison for this. Yes, Gossip Girl sent anonymous text messages, and she was hell-bent on destroying all of their lives, Blair, Serena, etc.'s lives. But I feel like if we had to make comparisons, I would compare this again to Pretty Little Liars, just because there was a more sinister and dark aspect with Pretty Little Liars. And the text messages, like, you could tell there was more at stake with that. And I feel like here it's kind of the same thing. Like, I don't know, that's what it's giving me. But either way, I'm really excited to read this. This is also by Farida Abike Ayimide, and I apologize if I butchered her name in any way, but I'm really excited to read this. I know I said that about every single book here, but like, I've been fiending to get my hands on this book, so I'm so happy that I got it, finally. So guys, that is the end of my book haul, my summer book haul. As you can see, I have so many books here, like so many, and I'm on the hunt for more. I actually lied. I do have another book that I just recently purchased from Amazon. I'll leave a picture of it right here because I don't get it, but it is an autobiography by Diane Guerrero. She did play Maritza in Orange is the New Black, and I've been wanting to get this book for a while, but I just haven't gotten around to it, but I finally bought it. So that is also being added to this summer book haul as well. But let me know your guys' thoughts, and let me know if you read any of these books, if you're looking to get any of these books, or if you're interested in them. And let me know if you have any recommendations down below. I'm always on the hunt for new contemporary romance, mystery, etc., like those type of books. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!